Finally, here on India Matters, there's a great deal of anger, revulsion, surprise over the $6 billion Italian fashion giant Prada sporting a pair of Kohlapuri Chappals for 1.2 lakh rupees. Now, Kohlapuri Chappals, everyone knows, probably cost nowhere above about 2,000 rupees. But Prada, which is an iconic fashion house from Milan in Italy, just had a show where Kohlapuri Chappals costing $1,300, that's about 1.2 lakh rupees, were casually being strutted on the catwalk. And people are seeing this as theft, as lazy lifting. Some people are calling it chappal chori. All this is happening, and it has become an India versus Prada kind of story. But I want to make sense of this in a sober way, and that's why we have live with us India's best-known author and commentator, Shobhaa De. For more on this, Ms. De, good to see you. Thank you very much for your time here on NDTV.
Sure.
Are people right to be angry about this, ma'am? Prada sporting these Kohlapuri chappals costing about 1.2 lakh rupees?
I don't understand what the outrage is about at all. We should be amused, and if anything, we may be flattered. But outrage, come on. The Kohlapuri has a GI tag. It's very much a part of our legacy. It was first noticed, not just noticed, but commissioned in the 12th century, worn in the 13th century. It takes 6 weeks, even today, to be crafted. It is unique. It is very, very distinctive. I mean, let me show you my Kohlapuri. I hope you can see it on camera. I've been wearing Kohlapuris for the longest time. A, because my ancestors come from Kolhapur. And secondly, it's a legacy I'm extremely proud of. I've been wearing them through college. They're all weather, they're comfortable. They sort of get molded to your feet. And if Prada has decided that, yes, why not sell them for 1.2 lakhs? And there are idiots around the world who are willing to buy it at that price. I don't think we should be getting up in arms about this. It's maybe some kind of an indirect tribute. Who knows, it'll lead to a revival. Yeah. There are at the moment in Kohlapur 10,000 artisans working on the Kohlapuri. It has a production of maybe 6 lakh pairs a year. They are facing difficulties. The one sole shop that used to be on Colaba Causeway that I've patronized for decades no longer sells Kohlapuris. There are cheap imitations in the market calling themselves Kohlapuris. So, it's not generic, it's very specific. The GI tag says that it has to be made in Kolhapur or Satara or even Karnataka, Bijapur, Dharwad, and so on. So the Kohlapuri is very much a part of our Indian tradition of footwear. I would not call it a sandal. And the French are calling it a chappal. It's not a chappal. There's no question of a chappal chori. They're just doing what they've done for decades, appropriating a lot that has to do with Indian craftsmanship, Indian traditions. They don't care to acknowledge it, but do we really care? They're looking at India as a market, but India is not the market for Kohlapuris because we have them as our own. I can get a pretty decent pair for, say, 500 to 700 rupees.
Yeah.
So I don't know which Indian will be foolish enough to pay 1.2 lakhs for a Prada Kohlapuri. But if the rest of the world suddenly wakes up to how comfortable it is, and how, the Beatles made it very popular way back in the 70s. They were always in kurta pajamas and Kohlapuris. There are other top bracket brands. LVMH has just unveiled their collection. They've got snakes and ladders and Bhangra music. They've got an auto rickshaw bag for God knows how many lakhs. India is the market. India is the moment. It is not just a fashion moment, but it is a moment for all our crafts skills to be showcased to the world. Whether or not the designers choose to acknowledge the source, I don't think we should be up in arms about that.
You don't think it should be acknowledged at all, ma'am? The fact that they're not calling it Kohlapuris, there is no direct nod to the artisans or Kohlapur. I mean, some would say the word that you use, the appropriation. Do you think that's par for the course in the fashion industry, or there should have been some kind of acknowledgement, even if it's a tribute?
There will never be an acknowledgement from any of these guys. We should not expect it. We should not beg for it. We should not crave it. We know what we produce is by far the best. These are hand-stitched. with organic leather. There are no nails, no rivets, as I said. They're made from buffalo hide, and the detailing is done with goat leather. These are uniquely our products. So if they want to appropriate them, good luck to them. They've done it always. They've done our embroidery. They've stolen so much from us. Next on will be jutis and mojeris, I guarantee you. I mean, after Aishwarya Rai and the Sindoor breakout moment at Cannes, I wouldn't be surprised if all things Indian, because of our huge market, the other markets have collapsed. Europe has no money. Why would China, concede these huge markets to India? So this is where they're going to make their money. And let's give them a hard time. Let's challenge them on their own terms. Let's buy our own Kohlapuris and help our artisans, because they are not going to be helping those artisans, whatever they may claim.
You use the word revival, ma'am. Are you saying that Kohlapuris are in a kind of fashion slump right now, and what Prada has done to actually revive interest in them? I mean, I have a pair as well.
Definitely.
We just saw your pair as well.
Well, yes, it could definitely. I'd love to show my pair again to those who may have missed it. But the point is that talking to some of the artisans, especially who supplied Kohlapuris for years and years to the stores along Colaba Causeway, I know that they have switched because there is no demand for the real thing, for the authentic Kolhapuri made in Kolhapur by the artisans of Kolhapur, who will necessarily have to switch to making some other kind of footwear, because these with the toe hold and the side flaps and the little for the little toe to be held firmly. I mean, these are really unique to us. And if there is a revival, well, God bless Prada if they make that happen, and we all suddenly go back to wearing what, well, at least for me, I've worn since my school days, certainly through my college days.
Yeah, Shobhaji, the fashion industry is a funny business at so many levels, and you've seen it intimately from the inside as well. How would Prada have suddenly noticed Kohlapuris now? How does this thing kind of happen? Kohlapuris have been around for so long. There are so many fashion houses which do so much work in India. What could have sparked this sudden thing about a Kohlapuri appearing in a Prada line?
The fashion business is eccentric and it's very arbitrary. It takes one person to suddenly take an interest in something specific in India. For example, I don't know if you're aware of the basmati bags which have taken off.
Yeah.
These are basmati bags which our grocers bring to our homes and have been bringing to our homes for years and years, with recycled, upcycled old gunny sacks made into bags. They're suddenly taken the fashion world by storm.
Yeah.
Then we got the basmati blazers, which are selling for some absurd amount, 1.66 lakh rupees a blazer. Again, made from the same upcycled, recycled basmati old gunny bags. Then we have the Vimal saris and the Chetak sweets, which are being sold as souvenir bags in top bracket stores across New York. So the fashion is definitely fickle. It's also something one cannot predict. I mean, if the LV Image show, the entire focus was India focused, with A.R. Rahman's music and Bhangra and the top models, going on a set designed by an Indian architect called Bijoy Jain, and the theme being snakes and ladders. All things India and all things Indian seem to be coming back into vogue, and good for us. We should exploit the moment. We shouldn't be sitting there and crying about cultural appropriation. I'm sure we've done the same with some of their products in reverse.
Yeah.
It's all fine. It's all fine in fashion, love, and war, as far as I can tell. That's how I see it.
A final word from you, ma'am. What would you say to the many hundreds of artisans in Kolhapur right now? Because all of them would have phones. They would know about this story instantly. I'm sure many of them are looking at this and thinking, wow, somebody's selling Kohlapuri Chappals for 1.2 lakh rupees. What would you say to them? And they are listening.
I would say that they should feel extremely encouraged. And if some of those orders, not from Prada maybe, from other fashion-forward houses, even in India, come to these artisans, then it's a win-win for all. Because if there is that sudden interest, and especially the younger generation who may not have grown up wearing Kohlapuris. I mean, my family being from Kolhapur, we grew up with all our uncles, our aunts. We all grew up with Kohlapuris as part of our daily footwear routine. It would be great if there is that kind of a fallout from this whole fracas. But otherwise, I think we should just see it and say, well, thank you, Prada. Let's hope many more people across the world take to wearing our Kohlapuris made by us, made in India. And we can then then we can say we've arrived in a way that is meaningful to our artisans and to all of us who are great champions of these artisans.
Shobhaa, I'm so glad you were able to join us on this because I've learned a great deal and you've helped us all understand this story a little bit better. It's easy to miss some of those things amidst all the outrage. But thanks so much. Appreciate you joining us on this story, and we'll
enjoy being on your show.
Continue
Thank you so much.
updating
Bye.
our viewers on this story. Thank you so much. Well, that's a wrap on India Matters. Thanks so much for watching.